It's longer, but it's... Do you miss many, many more things? Stay tuned now to the second part of
Bridget Jones' Diary. She's best known for her role in Bridget Jones' Diary, Miranda, Smack, and the hilarious Sally Phillips. Worcester Summer, upon a Sally, mother of three, shares her top tips for holiday and abroad with her careers now and how being a Christian informs her career choices. Don't miss Sally revealing all about her newest venture, starring the likes of David Tennant. Ventureliness, Knox Marie Amanda, Christ Melchizedek's, Vesterliness.
Yeah, I do actually. Truthfully, I don't think truthfully I do. I think most people struggle with that. Like eldest child's got touch with me last night. I kind of thought, I'm probably going to have to stay home forever. And then I went mental. And so it's actually nice to wherever you work, occasionally still fine to adults and but you've actually written a film as well, right? Yes, I've written a film called Decoy Bride, which is hopefully starring Kelly McDonald. And have you been able to get onto the set very well? I was in it. I shot it last summer. It's already done. And I was in it playing Marilyn. British people say beta version of the movie. There's always double-sided sticky tape.
Okay, I dedicate this to the...
No, it isn't. I've actually done, I've obviously done a lot of thinking about it, and I think when I first became a Christian, I very much felt that there were tons of things that needed to be sorted out, like smoking, for example, and that everything wasn't God's priority. The work that I was doing wasn't really
Theodora, Christ Melchizedek's, Austria, New Zealand, Australia. Knox Marie Amanda. Very well.
For me, it's always been about writing the truth, and sometimes the truth, truth is dirty or dark or whatever. And I think you write, if you try to write what you think Christians won't be shocked by, your work will be poor. And I also don't think that my job is to write for Christians. I think that, I've got a friend, Milton Jones, who's very brilliant. He won't do gigs in churches. He says, send the people from church to the comedy club.
Yeah, that's...
Go out and mix.
And I guess it's the message behind it as well, isn't it?
Kind of, but sometimes you're not, I think if you try and control that consciously, again, your work becomes bound. So, for example, playing Shout to Bridget Jones, she says, I won't say the word, but it's every other word. Should I have turned that down? I really didn't remotely think I should have turned that down.
I thought you were hilarious in that. When I cut you listen, I thought it was brilliant.
But then at the end, they said, gosh, we didn't imagine Shazza like that. She had so much more love in her than we imagined. So I was thrilled with that, because I felt like, no, I haven't painted an enraged, angry person, which I also think it's fine to paint an enraged, angry person.
No, sometimes to follow something too.
But, I feel like there was a slight, is there any difference to you being Christian, not being Christian, playing that role? I think there probably was. But it was quite funny, because our vicar at the time was very... When I first turned up in the church, he and his wife privately, I now know, said to each other, she's not going to stay, she's never going to stay. She's never going to, not going to be staying, so she's going to be here for a month, and she's going to go. And then a few years later, I did Bridget Jones, and he went to see it, and he leant over to me, he took his parents in law, and he leant over and he said, one of my flock is in this. The lights go down, and foul mouth.
The whole comedy thing, though, is something great, isn't it? I mean, Tim Vine's quite a regular on our program, actually, and
yeah, I loved him.
He's a lovely man.
It's good to laugh, isn't it? And he's a very good friend of mine.
Yeah, it somehow diffuses pomposity and all sorts of things, doesn't it? It's just such a positive thing.
Well, I think it's a very interesting thing as a Christian, what your role is, and I think the temptation is then to just do this very vanilla, very muted. I'm not criticising Tim, because I'm his biggest fan. but I don't think everyone should be doing neutral, family-friendly stuff. There is a role for a Christian as a kind of prophet. As a comedian stands outside of society in a way and lives in and points out hypocrisies, and I think that there's a real role for, you know, Christian writers. I mean, there was a call actually in the paper from a non-Christian, from Vicky Corran, going, "Come on, where are you, clever Christians? Where are you? Where's your voice?" And
non-Christian, Grace
very
Melchizedek,
challenged in the last few years.
Athena, Knox, and Amanda.
When I first became Christian, I didn't feel that God really minded what I did, really. It was all just about staying alive, of staying afloat, you know. Whereas now I think, you know, especially now I'm writing stuff, that I'm sort of thinking a bit more about what your role is, and whether it has to be conscious, whether, you know, whether you're a mouthpiece for anything, or I don't know.
It's a process.
I think there's definitely a call for us to be a bit braver.
Yeah, it's interesting actually, because my brother just started doing some stand-up because he feels that it's almost like comedians are almost like the new form of preachers in terms of out in the world. It's like a way that you can actually reach people where maybe in the church you can't to a certain extent.
Someone said to me on a job recently, he said, I don't know why you're talking to me. He said, when you write something, that's watched by 2 million people. And it really hit me a bit. It's like, yes, you're right. And he said people can't hear the gospel because their hearts are too hard. Write something that softens them.
Yeah, it's true. And Miranda is a Christian as well, isn't she, Miranda Hart?
I think she's on record.
Stop a Fati, means I'm asking you.
I think she's out. Is she out?
Yeah.
The minute you go out, your career goes down the pan. You see, that's
yours hasn't, though. That's not been the same for you. Well, it's been lovely to speak to you, Sally. Thank you very much for joining us.
Take care.
Lovely Sally Phillips there. What a fascinating chat you two had.
Yeah, even more impressed. I was impressed with her before, but even more impressed having spoken to her. Lovely lady.
Inspirational breakfast.
Inspirational breakfast. Christ Melchizedek, Knox, Amanda, Inspirely breakfast.